Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey. It's the Sunday Encounters. I made it home. I stayed in Florida for 5 days working on the 168 hours film. And very proud of what we've done. It's going to be really good. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. We got a pretty good show planned for everybody here. I'm your host, Carrie. With me as always. This is her show, actually. Miss Daniela Iola. How you doing, dear?
Doing all right.
Yeah. And our guest, she's coming to us from Colorado, right? Kim Schaper.
Yes. Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Well, I know a lot of people are probably wondering about the film and why it's not out yet. And we had issues from day one when I got down there. The first episode is almost done. There's just, when you guys see it, you're going to see how dynamic it is and how much there is to it. Very, very proud of the film. It's going to be our best film yet. Absolutely. It's going to be very eye-opening, I think. But more than anything, I think you guys are going to enjoy it, but it's still not ready. So the whole problem is that I got a 12 terabyte cloud, external cloud to save all the footage, and it's just got no access speed. And anytime I want to get something, I got to work through it. So it's just taking hours to upload things. That's the only thing holding it up, really. So just let you guys know it's coming. Just give me a few more days. I'm here. We got a hurricane on top of us. I'm hoping that everyone down there has gotten out for sure, especially around New Orleans. I know 59 was packed. There's no way you were going to get on the interstate today. Just people coming up trying to get out of here. But we're okay so far. That first band comes through. That's when the tornadoes start coming. So we'll see. But all right, well, let's get right to it. Kim, you want to just start wherever you want to. You can go back to the first and kind of summarize that stuff, and however you want to do this.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to preface anything I'm saying right here, though, with the things that what my motives and intentions are of doing the show. I don't like to see me on camera. I don't need the attention. I have my own.
I had to ask you to do this.
Yeah. I have a social platform, and I have for a while. And it's big, and I do it for inspiration. I do stuff that's positive. That's what I do. So I don't need to, get the attention. I have my own YouTube channel. I don't even use it. So my intentions literally are that I hope I can help one person with this, because it's ridiculous what goes on. These things are real, and I haven't wanted anything to do with this or these creatures, whatever they are. When I actually had the visual sighting in December of 2019, if I backtrack, going into April of that year, it was Easter weekend, we all went camping up the Colorado River in Tibet Canyon, which is maybe 50 miles from where I live in Grand Junction. And we like to go boondock, which means you don't have electricity. It's just out in the wilderness. So we found a spot. My husband and my son-in-law went ahead, and then all of us, 3 families, went up later, because my daughter was a nurse and I'm a teacher, so we were working. So we went up after them because it's not that far. And we all settled in for the night. We had kids and all the dogs. And we found this place, and people can go look at it. It's the other side of Tibet by the river, and there's canyons. They're not really deep. They're not steep where you're going to fall in. It's safe enough to camp with little hills and red rock and trees, but not a forest, not a thick forest. So, I wasn't expecting anything. No way. We're just having fun, So that first night that we were there, my husband had got up at 3:30. He's sitting over there, and, drove up with Eric to put up all this, RV. It's a lot of work. We have a 35-foot RV. So they set it up, and we all had dinner. We got a bonfire. It was around 8 or 9, I'd say, at night. And it wasn't quite dark. There was still sun out, but it was like dusk. So we're on one side by the bonfire, and everybody was around this, and most of the trailers were there, but ours was over to the back a little bit, and right behind that trailer there was like a ravine, but more like a wash, not anything you'd have to worry about falling into. It was just right, and I'm saying that for a reason. I'm just trying to find explanations. That ravine was right like 6 feet, 10 feet from the back of our trailer. So we're over there, and John said, I'm just really tired. He got up at 3:30. I'm going to go lay down. And so I said, all right, we're far away. The campsite was over a little bit. We weren't like right there. And I'm saying that for another reason too, because at one point, John just jumped up and ran to the door, and he says, Tim, what are you doing? What's going on? I'm like, what? And I said, what's the matter? And I get up and I run over there, because he doesn't talk like that. He just doesn't. And he just said, did you knock into the trailer?
Kim, your internet is really getting really bad. I don't know if you can hear me or not. You're really breaking up. I'm kind of He says you can't even understand. Maybe just every now and then it comes through clear. I'm sorry. I don't know. Is it maybe any other way?
Maybe try with the camera off, just to send less data through, perhaps. Your
cam mic setting on the bottom down there.
Right there, you mean? You think that would help?
It might help a little bit, sending less stuff through.
Okay, I turned off the camera.
It's still just a little shaky. I don't know.
It's going to be a little bit, and then it.
Right. It's just going to be all about tolerance and what people can tolerate and what they can listen to. That's all. I just want you to be able to get it across clearly. You don't have anything else running, right?
No, I do not. Not on the computer.
No. I mean, is anyone else hooked to your internet? Is what I mean.
Yeah. Just a second, John. Did you turn off your internet?
That's probably what it's going to be.
Would you turn off your internet off your phone? Thank you. Okay. Can you hear me better?
That's sounding better already. Yeah.
Yep,
it's already got better.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's all right. You can if you want to try to turn your camera on. That's fine. I think it's just streaming the video, having to be connected.
Yeah, we have all these people in the house. We turned off one of the phones. Is that better?
Oh yeah, no, that's great.
Okay.
I apologize for
no.
stopping
it's
everything,
okay.
but it should be clear. Absolutely.
So I'm not sure if you heard where John was calling me over. He said, "Did I run into the RV?" Can you guys hear that?
It went right back to doing it again.
Oh, no.
Is there anything else connected to the internet, like a TV or anything like that?
Yeah, over in the other side of the house. John, could you do me
Really sorry, Kim.
Don't let anybody use the internet for the next hour, basically.
Yeah, just tell them internet's off.
Okay. Could you do me a favor and go ask them to turn off their phones for 1 hour, because I can't get on?
Yeah, Linda's not watching TV right now, so it's the same way here. And I can plug directly in. That's how bad our internet is here. I have to leave here if I want to upload a video, like one of our Odysseys. Like when I get 168 done, I'll have to go to the library, upload it. Yeah. So,
John, have them turn off their TV and their phone for 1 hour. Let's see if this helps.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, look, we just want it to be good. We want it to be clear where people can hear and understand you. And it's just sometimes it's hard to get into when there's, this stuff going on the side where just your voice is breaking up, straining to hear what you're saying. Long Island Bigfoot. Oh, wait a minute. I've got an announcement.
Okay.
I totally forgot about.
Yeah.
See if I can find it. It's Paul Perry. He is. I'll put this up here. I can't find it. Well, it's Xavier. Paul Perry is taking. Sorry, y'all. He's taking eyewitness accounts around the northern Pennsylvania area, and I had this thing on here. I know I added it. I didn't add it to brand, did I? No, it was a banner. Oh well. But the email is I just had all this stuff. I'm so sorry. I put it on the banners. I don't know why it's not there.
It's not there. I can't see it. Unless you put it on Hidden Existence one now. That's weird.
Let me find this. Here it is. His email is xavier825@gmail.com. You guys can contact him anywhere in the New England area. He's taking sighting reports for there, and we're happy to advertise for Paul. Anytime he's got anything else, we'll let you guys know. We've got a couple people putting news together for us, so that's going to be coming soon, probably Friday. If we're not blown away, we'll have some news, some Bigfoot news for everyone. All right. How are we, Kim?
Okay. Is that any better?
A little.
I'm not sure who turned off what out there, but John never came back.
So far.
But I hear voices, so I think they turned it off, all their stuff.
You're absolutely.
Let me find out.
You're much clearer now, so let's just see what happens.
Okay. How'd it go, John?
Oh.
All right. They said, okay, we're off. Yeah. Panic's on the phone, huh?
Still bad.
Can you hear me better now? Is it okay?
It's okay every now and then. It's still breaking up. Let's just forge on. We'll do the best we can.
Yeah.
All right. So basically what happened was I knew something was wrong because nobody was by the RV. Nobody was over there knocking into the RV. And I just threw out there and said, hey, was it one of the dogs? And all we have a little tiny min pin. He said, no, it was too heavy. And I just knew something was really wrong because nobody was there. Nobody was by that RV to be knocking into it. So fast forward, the next day we go out, we're looking at, just walking around, checking out the area. We found this cave and there were these bones there. And I just figured some animals eating stuff. And so it was just kind of creepy. But then that night, we stayed another night. It happened again, only I was in the RV with about 3 in the morning and I didn't feel it, but John did. And something hit the RV and the whole thing rocked again. And he just started yelling, oh my God, what was that? I mean, he was just losing it. And I knew what was wrong. I just knew. And so did he. It was just, oh my God, are you serious? So a friend of mine that was with us, she had gone up on the ridge and taken a picture and there was a footprint and I didn't see it for a few days, a huge footprint. So fast forward to December and that's when, I saw the Bigfoot standing behind the shed, 8 feet high shed. There's nothing behind that shed and I'd seen it walking over and obviously I knew what it was. So at that point, what I did was I talked to one of our researchers and he said, Mike Ward, why don't you just film? Well, I couldn't afford a camera. So he said, try putting your cell phone in the window. And I put it in the window and ended up getting a recording, 7.5 hours. I couldn't get it off the phone, but I had enough of the recording to get it analyzed by John Ray Adams. And he came back and said, it is not a machine and it's not a human. Because what I'm hearing is one cord with multiple notes, and it's not humanly possible to do that. So I knew, oh my God. And so it was, then more stuff started happening. We walked up, there was footprints in the snow. We'd hear this like banging going on, the back door opening. I mean, you could say it was homeless people, I suppose, but you'd have to jump over the fence.
I'm sorry, Kim.
Yeah.
It's too bad. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
This is just how it goes sometimes when we do live.
Yeah.
I think what we might be able to do is just maybe answer a few questions. I think at least Daniela could mediate through that. If people have any kind of questions, if you want, I'll just kind of summarize. I think I remember what happened because you guys were in the camper, camped out.
Again.
You felt the camper move first, right?
Yeah. It felt like a fist and the whole thing rocked. Yeah.
Okay. But it wasn't like someone just jostled around inside the camper. This was like significant.
Right, because my son-in-law, or excuse me, my son and my daughter-in-law were in there, and I could feel when they would move in their beds because I couldn't sleep. I was up all night. When they move, it has a certain rocking motion when people flip in their bed.
Right.
It's real obvious. But this, after hearing stomping inside, and I thought they were going in and out the trailer. I found out the next day they weren't. So what was that sound? But after like 3 hours of this nonsense, I didn't want to go out of my room because I figured my son was just walking around, and he wasn't. But it felt like a fist, and then the whole thing just rocked. And it was right after that I heard like some scratching, banging sound right under where we were sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the third time because it happened up in the West Elk, same thing. And that happened in West Elks. My husband and I were both awake, and I go, "Did you feel that?" And he goes, "Yeah." It was awful. And I left that campsite because of snow. And he was left behind, and he said it happened again, and the handle of the door was jiggling. Nobody's out there. This is BLM land out in the middle of nowhere. So this is 3 separate times with the camper being whacked.
Wow. I think I'd have to stop camping. Miss Lori Croson says she had a similar incident year before last when there were 2 in my camp. Shook my truck while she was in it. That's got to be terrifying. I mean,
it takes something with
sick of it,
doesn't it, to move? You can't just nudge it. You know, you need something with a bit of strength to budge a truck, don't you? To make it shake.
Well, somebody could.
It feels like, I know. And why would someone be in the woods where we were? Nobody's there. And 3 times, say I have a person doing this. Why would they be 3 times following me around and whacking my RV 3 separate times? It just doesn't make any sense. And when you're there, you know something is so wrong. It's just wrong. You know it's off. And it's upsetting because it feels like you're being gaslighted. I mean, there's researchers who want to see these things, and they never do. And then there's others that, like me, just can't handle this. I mean, it's just not supposed to happen. It feels like, you know.
How much do you think your sense of awareness has to play in this? Do you think if you just didn't know anything, you wouldn't think of it at all, or do you think it would? Is it still that noticeable?
No, I mean, because I went camping a lot in Oregon with my kids, and none of this happened. I've always been outdoors since I was a little kid. It was my refuge. I grew up in a lot of abuse and trauma, and that's why I'm doing this, is because I know what it's like to hurt. I want to help people. That's my motivation. But never did I have issues camping. Nothing like this. This has just been recent over the last few years. Maybe it's the timing of stuff, you know. I mean, and I don't think there's some sort of genetic experiment from the government or whatever, because we have the Native Americans talking about these things a long time ago. So I think it's some offshoot of humans. I don't know, you know. But I'm just over it, because it feels like when that happens that they're trying to send us a message. It just feels like, "Hi, I'm here." And when I was up at the house after I saw one, I heard one whistling through the screen. Nothing was there. I mean, we were finding stuff knocked over, and the footsteps. There was a half-eaten apple, and of course the recording was ridiculous. The end of that recording that I couldn't get off my phone, you could actually hear it. It sounded like a monkey or something. It's like, woo, 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 woo. I mean, I have the recording, and it just sounds like, I told Danielle, like a dying cow. Was it a motorcycle? But it dies down, and it was right after that, about 10 minutes later, it felt like whatever it was closer to the phone. It was making this. I mean, it was just, what the heck? That's not a bear. Oh my God. I mean, and I know some people quoted and said, "Oh, somebody's playing with you. Teenagers out there playing a joke on you." Okay, we could say that, but that's crazy. Why would they happen to come over there? And how did they stand behind that shed? There's nothing to stand on. I saw it moving. It wasn't just standing there. When December, when I saw the actual Bigfoot, I could see it moving before it got to the shed. And there's no way that any person could there was nothing around the shed for them to stand on. You know, at first I thought it was a cat on there, and it wasn't. So I just feel like we're being gaslighted in so many ways. I don't like the feeling. I don't like it.
I know you're a little bit maybe worked up about this. You're going a little fast.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing, but I mean, that usually happens whenever you get excitable or nervous, or anybody would do
Yeah.
it. I just something
Right.
that you might want to be mindful of. Just take a breath if you
Okay.
need to. You
Yeah.
know, we get it. Understand perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been here so many times. Let me ask you this. I know you've talked to a lot of people. You've got
Yeah.
you got some pros around there. You got Mark Abel, Callie from Colorado Forest Beings, Colorado Bigfoot. I mean, those guys are out all the time. Have you contacted them? Maybe come and check it out.
I
They're not far
contacted
from
Kelly.
you.
Yeah, I contacted Kelly Shaw.
Oh,
I
not
contacted.
okay. That's not who I was talking about. Kelly Shaw is Rocky
Right,
Mountain
right,
Sasquatch Organization. That's
right.
I was talking about Callie from Colorado Forest Beings. But either one, I
No,
mean, he's a Kelly Shaw is absolutely a pro too. So any one of them would have been good. So go ahead.
yeah, I haven't heard of Callie. There was a Connor that I got hold of, and he just took my report. I also got on the BFRO site and reported for the area,
Mm.
and I haven't heard back. It said it would take months for them to contact you, and I never did hear back from them. So, and that was fine, because when I went up to the West Elks and that happened, we had gone to another trip, Silverjack in the 14,000 feet mountains. Nothing happened then, and it's nice. So part of me just doesn't want to deal with it in a lot of ways. And then we go camping, and then it happened again. But this time they were mimicking sounds inside the RV, which really made me think of Ron Moorhead's experience in the Sierras when they were way up that you got to take horses to. And he said all night when they were recording what's called the samurai chatter, they said they could hear car doors slamming, but they had no cars. They had their
Right.
horses. So, I mean, I just don't think it's really so mystical so much as we just don't understand things. I mean, if you think about chameleons, for example, if you didn't know what a chameleon was, you might think it was magic that it could go into an environment and turn that color,
Sure.
And there's dogs that can find people, that can find drugs in a warehouse, in a box. They can find bodies in the snow in an avalanche. It's amazing. You could say, oh, is that magic? No. The abilities of animals we do know about can just be mind-blowing. So I think to take the mystifying part of it is necessary, because I think they're natural, but this woo aspect, because before my camper got whacked, I thought my son had got up and was stomping out to go outside. It happened 3 times, and I was laying there thinking, well, maybe he can't sleep. And then I thought, oh, his wife, Lindsay, maybe she went out. Maybe they just were going in and out. So the next day I said, so, Sean, why were you guys going outside? He goes, what? I didn't go outside. It's like, oh, my gosh. And so, really? And I don't know why I couldn't even sleep. I wasn't thinking about any of this at all. But when we did go to bed, my sweet little dog, before we got in the camper, just looked over there and was growling. And I've never heard her do that. There was she's just sweet little thing. And I have never seen her do this. She sounded like a German Shepherd, and she's this little tiny half Chihuahua, half Jack Russell dog. And that unnerved me. And I thought, oh, maybe she sees a cougar over there, because we have them all over, cougar and bear. So that unnerved me. But I mean, I went to bed. I'm like, don't be negative, just go to bed. And I couldn't sleep. And it was all night. And then, of course, the stomping out the door opening and closing three separate times. Slamming. I mean, the door slammed.
Now I know you had some real issues the first time you had experienced these creatures, beings. And I'm only asking this because I have to. And
Yeah.
And there's another question behind it. Do you think that your awareness of these creatures maybe making you a little bit sensitive to things that are going on outside? And do you think it's possible that you can become hyper aware and it affects you adversely on the other side?
I mean, it is possible. But I just like to compare experiences. Like when we went up to Sequoia and Redwoods recently, and then we went another part of Portland. Both times we had the RV and nothing like this happened. But I wasn't even thinking about it then too, so maybe that's part of it. I mean, I'd rather think it's that than they're
Sure.
tracking us or something like a bloodhound.
Yeah, absolutely. That would, I mean, literally drive you nuts thinking that way. I mean, I know you're not crazy, you know, we talk all the time,
Yeah.
but I mean, still, you know, fear, well, it affects you inside and out, you know, from, you know, your subconscious included. And,
Yeah.
and when it comes to something like fear and, you know, belief, these things are very powerful.
Yeah.
They can take you over, you know. So I do think that people can become too afraid.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well,
when they're
we
out.
still go camping, so I guess we're not that afraid.
Yeah,
I go
no
out
doubt.
there and I'll be, in fact, when we went up this time, I was swimming in the lake and then I looked up at the trees and I said, Jesus, so nice not to feel like I'm getting watched. I'm not always thinking about Bigfoot. I'll just completely forget about it. I'm just enjoying myself. And I like that. And I'm not giving it up. Might be stupid for that,
Well, I mean,
but
you've seen it. I don't think there's any turning away from it
no.
for you at this point.
Right.
It's try not, you know, don't think of a brown teddy bear.
Right. Well, and you know, when I saw it in December, my dogs were right by it barking. It could have killed him. It didn't. So, I mean, I'm not one of those bone pile experiences you hear on Wes Germer shows. I mean, wow, there's some violent stuff that goes on. I've not ever had to go through. I haven't gone through what you've gone through, even. Thank God. I just don't even know if I could cope with it. You're a strong person that you're able to deal with that. Because, I mean, if I'm just freaking out over this stuff, so.
Yeah, well, it's affected me a lot more than most people. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it was strictly at my own sensibilities for me, not ever dealing with anything. Was my problem.
The feeling I have more is just anger towards them because I feel like they're playing with me. My husband, he just practically goes, oh, they're just letting us know they're there. He's real matter of fact about it. But
probably a good way to look at it, Kim. It's probably a great way to see it. Because what else can you do?
Yeah, and he's right. But then I know I start to resent it, going, you know what? Stop messing with me. But stop messing with me because it feels like gaslighting. But what can you do?
That's the consensus. The consensus is that, and most people believe this, that they just want to mess with you. What else is it?
Yeah.
It feels personal for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone in the chat, one of our members actually, Larry Hart, says try gifting them, but not everybody wants to do that. That might not always work for everybody, but people who don't want the interaction and that's probably the last thing.
Well, what we have heard sometimes is people start doing that, and then I think it becomes evident that the game is up. So it's game on after that. House slapping and rock throwing, and I mean the Gotros. Look what happened to them.
Yeah.
You know, once they acknowledged that they knew, they just kind of maybe retaliated. I don't know. I'm not saying that's all of them. Right. I'm not saying that's all of them. You know, this is so situational. Just the nature of the creature is so unpredictable.
I mean, like you referred to Carl, he said, don't do it. There's times where if you stop giving them stuff, they get angry and there's backlash. But I know down in Durango, Scott Carpenter's helped that gentleman down there who owns all that acreage where he takes people out on hunting trips. He's got his family. He's got chickens. These creatures come up. They've got pictures, and he was killing their chickens really bad. So Scott tried to help him out, and in the end, he said, "Here, do this. Just go out and announce to these creatures, you can have a few of these chickens, and that's all." Sort of like make a deal with them, and he did. And apparently, the major killing of the chickens stopped. It was just a few. So he sort of made a deal with them because he had to. Nothing was working. The lights weren't working. The cameras up. Because a lot of times that'll scare them off. I know when I had finally got a camera, I wasn't catching anything on there. So I do think it works. But in this case, I thought about it. I did go put little rocks out there to see if they'd move them. Nothing like that happened. But we did keep seeing the footsteps, the boxes being knocked over, and some other ones not inside of John's shed when it was locked. and no cats were getting in there. It was just like they were messing with us. If I found a half-eaten apple the day after I bought some, it was just little things like that. So I didn't want to give them any food. I was afraid to, because of what I was hearing. What, you know, the advice was, don't do it because it might be backlash. So
yeah,
we're gonna go camping here again. We're gonna go down and see my brother-in-law, and he is really off the grid with bear and cougar. I'm more worried about them, but we're taking our RV, and I'm always hoping nothing will happen. And
it's like, you know, you'd think though, if they wanted to do something, they would have done, wouldn't they? Maybe.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe like they say, it's a game, and you've got to play them at their game, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. You know,
I mean, Kerry could have been doing that for years. He could have been getting the signs to get out of there, and just completely didn't even connect. And
nope.
To them, they must have thought, hey, this is a tough one, you know, I'll have to keep going.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because there's been reports of them tipping over RVs, killing the dogs that are out there. I mean, just horrible stories. And we don't know about the missing 411 if there's any connection. I don't know. But in my case, yeah, they're not getting violent with us. So that's why we're able to be pretty matter of fact about it. For me, I'm the kind of person that likes to know why people act a certain way. I don't like mysteries. I don't do well with that.
Yeah.
But so I pretty much just put it aside and don't worry about it. But every once in a while it comes up, and I'll contact Carrie just to vent and say, hey, I just need someone to listen because this is driving me nuts.
That's fine. That's what I do.
Yeah.
When the computer's not on, is talk to people. I mean, of course, you want a motive. What is their motive? You know, is it just to mess with you? You know, I mean, this is what would probably drive me crazy too, knowing that they're around, which I do believe they are, but for the most part, they don't mess with me. I'm not here most of the time. But I do think they're around. The habitat is definitely here for them. But
most
I mean,
definitely.
Is it just to get a reaction from you, to just be picking up an opportunity maybe for later?
I mean,
you gotta worry
I think
about
so. And I get scared because was it Mark Copeland who was on your show? The guy that was having the breakdown.
Mark Barton.
That's it. Me and John watched that, and I cried. I was just going, oh my God. You know, that scared me. And that's the thing. We don't know. So that's why I'm not going and looking for them. That's why I'm not gifting them.
That's a very unique experience though, as well. That was a very unique experience.
True.
What you have to remember, the majority of encounters are not anything like that. And Laurie makes a good point here. You know, shaking a vehicle and throwing 6 rocks, not necessarily aggressive behavior. Maybe just wanting attention.
Right. It's saying, hey, I'm here. That's what it feels like when it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally feels like when it's actually happening, the feeling I get is so strong of like, I feel like someone's sending me a message. Hi, I'm here. Literally. That's what it feels like. It's like if a person did that, hi, and I'm rocking stuff, you know, that is, I really think that's what it is. And I don't know why they do that. Maybe they're just playing around. I want to think they're just playing around. And I never am going to step out the trailer when it happens. And I have my 38 special locked up in there. That's not going to do anything.
You don't
probably a pea shooter, you know.
You don't know. 38 special, that's going to hurt.
Well,
I guarantee you, it ain't going to feel good.
Yeah.
Whether it kills them or not.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt. That's really going to hurt. You shot with a BB gun. That's, you know, it ain't going to kill you, but it's going to hurt.
That's true.
It's probably the same thing.
That's true.
I'll tell people that carry those 9mm with 16 shot clips, 16 shots.
You know, but going back, this is what's got me more disturbed about this last incident. Not that they hit the RV, because that's the third time it's happened. It was the sound of someone walking in there and slamming the door. My brain says, okay, remember those comedians a while back? They got up and they could mimic any sound of anything, like literally helicopters. They would. I don't know if you've seen these comedians that could do that. To me,
Michael Winslow.
Right. And then
police academy comes.
A ventriloquist. It reminds me of that too, where a person can throw their voice. So I'm trying to take the spooky side of it out. To me, it's and the car door slamming for Ron Moorhead. Maybe they're able just to mimic those sounds. I mean, we have some humans who can. I want to believe that because I don't. This thing with the woo, which I don't like the word. That's what it felt like. I said, "My God!" And the next day, of course, I talked to John, and I said, "I was up all night." He goes, "Yeah, me too." I said, "Do you feel it rocking?" He said, "Yep." And the reason I didn't get up when I thought Sean was leaving is I figured they were doing their own thing. I didn't want to bother them. I didn't want to get up and say, "Hey guys, I can't sleep. Stop coming in and out."
Kim.
Yeah.
You're going 90 miles. You're going 90 miles an hour again.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's just breaking up a little bit, and when you talk so fast, I think that's
it's worse. All right.
A little bit.
Well, what I'm saying is, you can lay there and person could say, "Wait, if that happened to me, this is what I would do." But in the circumstance, when I thought it was them just coming in and out of the RV, I didn't want to just stick my head out the door and say, "Hey guys, would you stop coming in and out?" I felt like that would be mean. If they wanted to go hang out outside, why would I tell them no? So I just laid there thinking, geez, in and out 3 times. Wasn't until the next day that I said, "So why were you going outside?" He said, "What? I went the bathroom in here," because there was a bathroom out there. So I thought they had gone over. But he said, "We never left. We never got up and went outside." So that's why I was really upset this time, just because of that. So
there's been there's been a couple of suggestions in the chat, and one of them, here, Michelle Burns, asked them to stop making you afraid, or just tell him to go away. Have you thought of doing that? Just saying, "Look, I'm not interested. Back off."
That's a good idea, because it's at Mongolian down here in Arizona. He said the same thing, and he would just say, "Hey, you're scaring my grandson. Please stop." I totally forgot about that. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, they can hear the intention in your voice. I'm sure if you can get a feeling of that.
Swear a few times. Get the point across.
That's a good idea. Because we're heading down to Pueblo outside there, and that was creepy when I went the one time. I felt like someone was watching me, but I figured it's a cougar because they're everywhere down there.
Well, look, at the very least, Kim, if you go to a place like this, all right, and you're of the mindset that this could possibly happen, and your intention is to talk to them before you get there. "Hey, look, if you guys are around, appreciate it if you just kind of leave us alone." That's going to calm you down too. I think that's going to
and it can't hurt to try.
Sure, I think it's going to put you in a more calm place, that you're actually looking for them not to do something instead of looking for them to do something. And if the wind blows and moves the camper, you're not going to be on edge about it.
Yeah. Because I'm not willing to get up outside. I know a lot of people are, but like I said, I was outside as a little kid. I went through some serious trauma. I mean, and the outside was amazing. We lived in Hawaii. We moved to Oregon and Colorado. Was always outside, swimming, horses. It was just my escape. I'm not willing to give it up. So.
Right. Sorry, I'm just looking. We got a severe weather alert. So,
you got that hurricane.
I'm muted. I didn't realize. Paul's part says they're playing the fear game on you. And where was the other one?
It's working.
They're right, and I'm falling for it.
They're winning.
They are. I'm going to try that, Daniela. Thank you for reminding me. I mean, that just reminded me of the Mongolian, the guy that was on your show, how they come up and talk to him and all this. I was just like, wow. But a few times it scared the heck out of his grandson. And he said, "Hey, you're scaring my grandson." Do you guys remember that at all? You have so many guests, but anyway.
Yeah, the last time you were on.
Mitch Abear. I'm guessing Mitch Abear is down there in Louisiana somewhere. Mitch, tell us where you are. I'm sure it's bad. I'm sorry. This hurricane, it's still a category 4, even though it's hit land already. And we're about to I might not be on here much longer.
Yeah, well, Carrie, we saw today on the news down by you, there was a 200-mile long length of cars trying to evacuate.
That's 59.
And, oh my gosh. I was praying for you all. That's awful.
Yeah, it's coming. Not much we can do about it. Kind of prepare
Yeah.
for it. So,
Yeah. It's supposed to be tomorrow or sometime tonight or something, right? Or when?
yeah, the first band's hitting us right now. It's
Oh, okay.
yeah, and that's when the tornadoes come. That's just kind of why we just got a severe weather warning as well now. All right.
Oh,
I'm
geez.
trying not to make this the show. Did Mitch tell us where he was?
In Fouchon.
Is that
Fouchon.
Louisiana?
Yeah, Fouchon. Yeah.
153 miles an hour. Oh, wow.
Down there near toward the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lower states of the lower 48.
Yeah, they're probably, I don't know how he's got internet.
This is a good point by Strangeland. I think they do things to see the limitations, your reactions, set their boundaries.
Oh, that's really good advice, guys. Yeah, I really appreciate it. It helps talking about it to you guys, really. I feel like there's a way to handle it. I've never thought of that. I always like, don't say anything. Part of that, I took it from when Mark Barton said, don't directly speak to them. I took that from his experience. And I know John said, pretend they're not there. Because they're trying to get you to react. So just pretend they're not there.
That's a man thing, too.
It is. And when it was whistling through the screen, Carrie, when it was whistling through the screen, I had the screen open. It was summer by then, and I could hear the air. Like if someone stood behind your ear and blew in your ear and whistled, I could feel the air from its mouth. You know what I mean? Like it was like it was saying, like, "Hi, I'm here." It was. Oh my gosh!
There would be 38 special holes in that screen.
That was the most terrified I ever was, because up to that point, I'm like, I'm not acknowledging you. I heard about the Barton thing. But I slowly got up and walked away into the other room, pretending I didn't see it. And then went back and closed it and went, that's it. I'm never opening the window again. Oh my God. Oh man, that was awful.
The whole thing with Mark Barton, it does seem like, a personal isolated incident, but we don't know who else that's happened to. No one else is really, if it has, they haven't had the courage to come forward, or and rightfully so. I'm not sure that I would tell anyone that. I think Mark's situation was definitely different than most people's. Being in the kind of somewhat in the public eye, and people knowing you as a certain type of person, certain type of demeanor, to be someone completely different, which is what I got from that. Something happened to affect him that way. I mean, it's just, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Well,
and who else has it happened to? I don't know. I'm not trying to scare you anymore, but I mean, you do. We got to consider all these things. I mean, who's right? I don't know, but there's nothing wrong with hearing something that someone else is going through, and then being able to call on it in a situation where you might think the same thing's happening to you.
Right. And it didn't help that I listened to all the stories on Sasquatch Chronicles of the really super violent situations. And I mean, yeah, pretty terrifying. But like I said, they could have hurt my dogs, and they didn't that night. They were like 2 feet away on the other side of the fence, just going nuts. The thing could have killed him. Didn't. Just stood there. And of course, when I went out and saw and knew what I was seeing, I mean, my stomach, like, it physically dropped. And I can't even, well, of course you understand that, but what it feels like to go, whoa, 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 I'm not looking at a bear. This is not a human. Sweet God, this is not happening. So, but I mean, you got out alive. I know you thought about, hey, I could be killed in here. No one would ever know. So he just chased you off. I think he didn't want you messing with their quote unquote turkeys for food or something. I don't know.
Could be that simple. I know. I do believe they tried to run me out of there before.
Yeah.
Several times.
Well, because you said you heard like kids or something. I think that mimic kids'
not
voices.
that. I don't think they were trying to run me out then, but when I would sit, I was calling. When I would call with the can call, the little doe bit cans of Primos made it for years. Sounds like a doe locator, just a bat, because deer sound like goats.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
it's kind of the same. And I would do that, and I couldn't tell you how many times I just heard crash coming through the woods toward me.
Wow.
And I'm 20 feet up in a tree, but here it comes. And I always was thinking huge buck, every time. And that's why I always did it. But it was just interesting to me that I think that was them, because they were popping limbs, and that's normally not what bucks do is breaking limbs. But it was interesting to me to kind of make the connection that I was calling then deer, and then I was calling turkeys the second time. So I don't know, maybe they have something against us fooling the wildlife. Maybe it's cheating.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, that's what happens to the guy down in Durango in the
Thank you again, Britt. They're probably getting hammered too.
On the audio that I got, we were hearing banging like metal pipes, and we actually, in that house that we sold, had the previous owners had some kid, the monkey bars that kids play on. There was one of those hanging up, and we had a big mess, and there were some pipes we had down there. So I think they took one of the pipes and were banging on it, because I went and tested it because I could hear it on the recording. That sounds like banging pipes. I went and grabbed one and was banging on it. I'm like, God, it's the same sound. So yeah, it was, wow. They were messing with the scent too. I mean, it was just, and of course that breathing sound of the monkeys, like, was just, I mean, my God. And I can't get it off my phone, that part of it. I just have like a 2-minute segment that I was able to get off, because it said I didn't have enough memory on the phone to get that recording off, which is too bad, because if you heard that, you clearly hear a creature of some sort, and it's not a bear.
You mean you can't send it?
I mean, I tried, and it just said not enough memory to get out. It was 7.5 hours long. I never thought that way.
You got to Dropbox stuff like that.
Yeah. So I had no idea how sad, but I at least got what I did. And John Dwayne Adams analyzed that and said, "Yeah, that's not human. That's not human. It's not a machine. It's not an animal."
Well, I know John. I like John too, but I mean, that's still his opinion,
right?
That it's not human. I mean, there are some weird humans out there that can do strange things, but I understand what he's doing. He's got the audible range EQ. He's a musician. That's why I know this. And so he sees that it's just out of human range, normal human range. So I know what he's looking at there. And he could be right. I don't know, but I don't think it's people still messing with you.
No, and I put that on YouTube, but then I took it down, because at that point in time I was hearing about, the 44, the group that are actively trying to kill a Bigfoot to prove that they exist, and it's just don't give out location, and I'm not even telling you the campsite that this last one. The other ones are vague. When I say Silverjack, God only knows where. West Elks is huge, so, and I'm not mentioning this campsite that we're at in Grand Mesa. It's huge, so. Still, the general area you could go, I suppose, but so far they haven't been successful. But
if you kill one, drag it to Oklahoma, they'll give you $3 million for it.
Wow! So that's a bounty.
I do believe there's a $3 million bounty on a Sasquatch in Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I read that.
This is to bring a live one in, isn't it? To capture.
I mean,
is it live?
I mean, I don't even think having a dead one would convince people. I don't know. I mean, unless the government said, yeah.
This is just a city thing to bring people in to visit, to come back out. I mean, this is what I think it is, a sort of publicity stunt. No one's going to catch one live, but
no.
I mean, how many traps might people try and put out there and find someone in a 8-foot hole who's trying to capture it?
I wouldn't say we can't catch one live. I'll say we haven't. I don't think we've figured out how to do it yet. But I think, the technology is going to get there eventually, to where these things are a lot easier to see in the woods. They're already in certain places, not afraid to just come out. I think for the most part, they think they can't be seen. But a lot of cameras, they see a lot of stuff your eyes don't see. And that's a lot of the stuff we got for the 168. That's just amazing to me. The stuff Mark and Melanie Zaske have done down there just over the last 6 years.
I mean, and if they were strictly animals, somebody would have caught one by now. You can trap bears, you can trap all kinds of animals. You have been able to
Don't-
for thousands of years.
Can't
So,
say
I
that
mean,
either. Can't
they're
say that either,
intelligent.
Ken.
They seem intelligent anyway.
You can't say they're anything more than just flesh and bone and just very good at staying away from us, because
Yeah.
I can see how it's possible. I can see how it's possible that this creature is nothing more than a natural creature that is just so good at hiding, staying away from us, and probably not a bad idea for them to do so.
Yeah.
You know, who knows what we carry that they don't want, you know?
What I'm saying is, I think they're just sentient beings. They're not just strictly an animal, but I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. That to
But
me, it's almost self-evident that it has to be that way, or else you're right. We probably would have at least have one. People say they have had them before. You know, the Minnesota Iceman. There's a lot of stories of these creatures being killed. Right.
Or someone hitting them with their car, they come back, it's gone. Or the feds come and say, okay, let's help. And then it goes away. Yeah.
Just doesn't get acknowledged. It never makes mainstream news, and it never will. You know, it stays local. Palms get greased. Those things happen.
I mean, because the spotted owl up there on Pacific Northwest, when they were protected, was it like millions of dollars the forest industry lost, the logging industry. So, I mean, I just think there's big money in keeping it quiet anyway on top of it. But, I mean, picture it. If they said, yeah, they're out there, what would happen? People would just, I don't know. I think the public reaction would be insane. Not only that, but the money factor. So
here's a question from Annette Alvey. Says, ask her if she can play and record it at the same time on something else. You could do that, huh? Just record a portion of it from another device.
Yeah, I can send it to you guys again because I got the microphone. It's actually on my phone here. Okay. I can send it to you guys again, and you can play it again at a later date. Or it's right here.
I've got Dropbox. You can Dropbox it to me if you got Dropbox, or you can try to email it. Maybe
I'll do that. If I turn the phone on, I think the internet's gonna go worse. Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah, we've only got a few minutes left anyway. I didn't want to have to cut short. Right. But we might have to.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, Arkansas.
I'll send it to you.
Pam and Paul. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's see. Any more questions? Let's some more questions.
Ellie, I have talked about this before. Harpoon with enough drugs on the tip to sedate an elephant. Well, I mean, I know it sounds like a good idea, and we talked to Larry Batson about this because he's, animal, knows all these animals and stuff. And they say you just don't know what the skin's like, what sort of needle, how much drugs. Just it's a tricky one, that one. But I think a harpoon would.
Well, when you're dealing with something like Kim said, emotionally intelligent, there are very few animals in the, animal kingdom that are that way, that you can tell they just love and care for each other. And you're gonna have to get past probably the others. If you do happen to stick a needle in one, it's just, you got to get close enough to one and then see it, and then it not know you're there probably, which is also highly, highly unlikely. I mean,
so
keep going back to the same thing.
Well, sorry.
Do you want me to send this to you? I have it right here, but
yeah,
it's saying email. So what's your email?
Send it to Daniela. She produces this stuff.
Daniela at hiddenexistence.com. If that's easier, probably to.
That's nice. Daniela . Oh wait, there you just came up.
Just Daniela. Right. Okay. Cool.
Gotcha. I have you one. Okay, here. There we go. It was your Gmail that I had on my phone.
Oh, got it. Cool. Okay, just give me a second.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention actually next week's Drawing Bigfoot is we've got Ernie coming on. I think you may have spoke to him, Kerry.
Ernie.
Yeah, he was. Oh, what am I doing? I don't want to give the whole encounter away, but it is is an amazing one. He actually walked up on one that was hunting a deer.
Okay, yeah, awesome. And when is he coming on?
Tuesday for drawing Bigfoot. He
Oh,
had
nice.
a terrifying account with him. Very, very interesting. A lot of details. And when that Bigfoot turned around and saw him, he did something pretty wild. So,
Nice.
in on Tuesday.
We might still be around for that.
I just texted it to your phone.
Yeah, I've got it on email. You've just sent me an email.
Good. Okay.
I thought this comes through loud enough.
I know, right? I was going to play it for you, but my microphone, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I'll play it now if ever.
Okay.
What?
I know.
Play it again.
When I first heard that, I said, it's a motorcycle in the distance. But then when it went another 3 minutes, that's where it was this breathing sound. And then the like it moved closer. And I just thought it's something. I didn't think it was Bigfoot at all. And when John looked at it, he said, Kim, I can just tell you this. I don't know what it is, but it's multiple notes in one chord. That is when he analyzed it anyway. That's what he came up with. Just like the Sierra sounds. That's what the linguist told Ron, that a human voice could not mimic that, or a machine. And he said, I don't know what it is. I'm just telling you that, when he analyzed it on his system.
Yeah, no, I think he's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you can see those overlaying peaks on his machine.
And of course, I remember when I was finally listening to it the next day, my husband walked in and my face dropped when I heard the breathing after and the weird. And then when the tape ended 7.5 hours later, it was even louder. It sounded like it was getting upset and closer to the window, because it was in the window, the phone. It's like the sound got like someone was breathing in the phone and just talking in a weird monkey way. I swear to God. And it was like, oh, geez. That was February, like Valentine's weekend. So I already had the sighting in December, and it was doing stupid stuff to us then with boxes knocking down. And I had a camera by then, but it just was evident at this point.
Well, your internet cleared up beautifully.
Finally, huh? Sorry.
Yeah, it only took 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh. I'm really sorry.
Kim, I really appreciate you coming back, and definitely maybe get you back sometime. We'll check and see if we can't get maybe a little bit better internet connection. I'd like to get you on, me and Brad, one night, maybe.
Right.
Do a late show, just kind of have a little talk about with people about what's going on up there with you guys. But definitely appreciate you showing up here with us. Be here Tuesday. What time, Danielle?
7 p.m. Central.
7:00 p.m. Central for drawing Bigfoot. And that's Ernie is going to be on that one.
Ernie's going to be on, yeah. It's going to be a good one. And in 15 minutes, I'll be on Anything Goes on Hidden Existence. If anyone wants to pop over.
It's Sunday. I still got power and internet. I'll be there. What about Wednesday? Anybody yet? Something I need to work on?
Something you need to work on, I think.
All right. Well, I got a ton of emails to go through. I'm sorry if I haven't gotten back to you yet with your email, your messenger, your text. I've been most decidedly indisposed. 168 hours to film. The very first episode is coming soon. And if I could get it to upload faster, then it would have been done already. But you guys are going to enjoy it. I think I'm very, very proud of what we did, what we put together. And it's going to be eye-opening, I think. So, all right. Well, thanks again, Kim, for showing up. Daniela, great job as always.
Yeah, thank you guys, and stay safe in the hurricane.
For sure.
All right. Night, guys.